definitions have been taken under the consideration of this legislation. So, many rights exist. First of all, a woman cannot be thrown out. In the past they did that, but now they can't, because the moment you are in a matrimonial home, it is considered as the home of both. So, the man has the responsibility. If man is paying for the matrimonial home, he has the responsibility to provide her the right to live in that home. If he is depriving by any manner, by locking it out, etc., if the woman rushes to the health center in the police station or police department, then she is having the right to re-enter that home, or the man is under duty bound to provide her another home. So, that is the right. Then various remedies like right to residence order, protection order, custody order if there are children, compensation order and interim maintenance order, all these remedies are available. Now, there is a need for looking at cultural neutrality, and if it is gender issue, you do not look at if their religion permits it, if their family custom permits it. No, don't make any compromise. So, we have published an article recently, me and Hazare, where we are arguing about how public sphere role has of women, which is deprived in the name of religion, has been resumed because of human rights provisions interpreted by judges. Just like how in Vishaka case, sexual harassment was considered as human rights and the new law has been ushered in. We have cases coming up from Tamil Nadu and Delhi with the innovation of the judges, where women's participation as priests and heads of temples have been resumed and rethought in these judgments by providing them an opportunity to assume these roles, which were otherwise deprived because of their physical reasons. That made an article on how judges have been the modernizing influence on the tradition ridden boundaries of religion, which have deprived equal rights to women in public sphere. Conducting puja and controlling temple means controlling economy, controlling power, because through temples a lot of things happen in Indian culture. So, such judgments have an everlasting impact in terms of mainstreaming gender. Now, apart from this, see all those points you can read. This case we have circulated, MCD versus female workers. Is maternity benefit to be given to only segment or to every female worker who is on the muster roll? They said they are entitled. There were cases of unwed mother claiming maternity benefit, and courts have said yes, the law does not specify that maternity benefit is to be given to only to the married mothers. It is provided as long as you are a mother. Then in the wake of Nirbhaya case, Justice Verma committee came out with certain recommendations, very, very important. Acid attacks have been dealt with, many crimes which were not dealt with by the Macaulay's old criminal code have been identified here based on the incidents and actual empirical data. Then we have the Criminal Amendment Act coming as a byproduct of Verma committee report, important the rape segment, the otherwise what is called outraging modesty kind of mild soft provisions have been strengthened now, and even rape of a minor have been incorporated. And Verma committee report has done a lot of good, and it has also brought the armed forces excesses to be dealt with by the law. So, you can deal with these from my this one. I wanted to highlight a little bit on sexual harassment at workplace, how it is abuse of power, how this needs to be combated by putting obligation on the employer. After the Vishaka case, which you have been circulated with, after the Vishaka judgment, in all the states, Medha Kotwal Lele conducted a study and she showed how no change has happened. When did the Vishaka case come? By 1997. Until 2012, she did not see any change coming about. So, she filed a public interest litigation, because of which you see that the Supreme Court said that there is a need for a bill and a legislation coming into this effect. So, she also showed how Vishaka guidelines were followed in breach rather than compliance in most of the states. Now, another development is the court says speed up the act. That is how the act has been passed in 2013 at the fag end of the year in 2013. Then on transgenders also this had impact, and we saw how third gender as well as transgenders have been affected by these kinds of developments in India, and their rights have been protected through various judgments. Now we have to have a new law which looks at other genders also. Our application form, Symbiosis Law School application form has got male, female and other gender. Now sexual harassment of women at workplace, this is an overview of the legislation which gives definition. Internal Complaints Committee talks about what is sexual harassment, and then aggrieved woman, who is aggrieved woman, duties of the employer, Internal Complaints Committee's way of functioning. What is very interesting is it is a version of the victim, so called victim, which is to be believed. But if she files false complaint, she is also liable to be punished. So there are duties of the committee to hear complaints, initiate inquiry and then determine compensation or submit its report. So you have to have complaints within 3 months in writing, and then you can try for settlement as the committee, if not inquiry, and then award compensation, and then the person has the right to appeal to the court or tribunal within 90 days. Right now we have courts only, once again those courts which are clogged with cases. So we hope there is a separate tribunal. In Pune, Symbiosis Law School was part of this initiative which was done by the CII, Chamber of Industries, and they did an initiative called SEMA. This website is there, which is a initiative, Stop Exploitation, Molestation, Abuse and Assault. In the SEMA initiative, they identified different industries and group of industries, and then united them like IT, manufacturing, education, established a common platform, leverages on technology and then training on laws and skills for implementation. So most of the members have implemented ICC within their organization. Now ideas on strategizing were also given, were also forthcoming, like I read it from so many books and I brought this. One is checking the discourse that within the company and organization, as you were saying, what kind of discourse is there? There should not be sexism, but there should not be subtle sexism also. What is subtle sexism? Sometimes we generate stereotypes, like if I have the power as a director of the college to nominate head of student council. What do? Invariably I look for a boy. I mean, then I see in last 3 years suddenly that the demography is swinging in favor of girls. When I took over, 45% girls, 55% boys. Today it is the other way around, 40% boys and 50%, 60% girls, because maybe in the entrance exam the percentage that scores better is girls, or because of various reasons. Now if I say that somebody who doesn't look tall, doesn't look what you call slim, should not be the president of the student union, even if it's a girl, I would go in favor of somebody who is slim looking. Then that is subtle sexism, because I go to the beauty code which I believe is right by looking at market. So any denial, any hostility, any structured definition which is excluding diversity within gender also amounts to discrimination. Do you get that? Now this is the other level of exploitation that happens, all of us know that. So, like the Bollywood preference for Italian looking heroines, you know, that is also a kind of subtle sexism. So that's something that we have to see. Second is checking mechanisms, encouraging victims to break the culture of silence, creating hierarchies, managerial power, and seeing that incivility spiral. If someone is not civil in transactions, then seeing that it is broken, power differentials to be reduced, that putting all supervisors as men and all other subordinates as women, automatically you are creating a hierarchy. So you have to break those things. And then we have to look at checking the impact also, that because of, I mean, suddenly if a woman is remaining absent constantly, or if she is hesitating to take leadership roles, or if there is a loss in performance, if there is illness, if there is low job satisfaction, if she is depressed, if there is attrition, resignations, if somebody's reputation is tarnished, it's very important, because if you prevent sexual harassment, you are increasing the health of the organization, reputation, causing less stress, and you are ensuring safety of the organization, and you are also saving lawsuits. We know that Infosys' Panish Murthy, he was the global business head of Infosys. He was fired in 2002 after company settled out of court. Suppose it was going through court, it would have to pay more, $3 million lawsuit. But recently again Panish Murthy is in news. He was in another organization where he again engaged. The danger is you settle and you let the perpetrator go off, company pays for him. He is in a way indemnified. After that he goes and joins another organization. The organization might not know the antecedents, maybe he is very good professionally, but does not make him go through the therapy or some kind of a transformation process. He again indulges in the same. Person might get money, the victim might get money, but what happens to the morale of the person or morale of the organization and the reputation and the work environment. So, this is something that all of us will have to see in terms of human rights. We have to look at gender equality and empowerment of women as important human rights issues, because achievement of this is important to achieve the Millennium Development Goal. Most of the Millennium Development Goals have gender as one of the important parameters. That is why it is integrated within the Millennium Development Goal by UNDP. And if you want to achieve poverty reduction, democratic governance, crisis prevention and recovery, environment and sustainable development, put gender in the center. Without mainstreaming gender, development is not possible. Therefore, it is important as a human rights issue. I have taken long, this should have been 3-4 units class, but I could not find time. So, I thought today I found time. I have kept you from your meals, delaying the meals. I hope it was covering all the aspects. If you have any questions, you are still welcome. Those cases you read and write your critical note and hand it over to Professor Asavari, who is mainly looking after the course. If there is any other odd question, please ask me. I hope all the things have been clear, because with that foundation when you see, it is not difficult to understand the law, and it is very easy to understand and logically put things in perspective. Thank you very much and good luck. Thank you.